Hey everybody, and big welcome back to my comic lair. Uh, got a little stack of everything here: Marvel and DC. Got some Silver Age and some Bronze. Just trying to fill some holes. Uh, DC Comics Presents was always a cool little title that came out in the late '70s, and I guess they were trying to make it the equivalent of Brave and Bold by teaming up Superman with everybody instead of Batman. This is an issue I had several years ago, and I do not know what happened to it. But these Superman and Shazam, Captain Marvel team ups are some of my favorite, and here he is teaming up with the Marvel family. This is a great story. It's a whole lot of fun. You got like Mr. Mixoplick and King Cole here, and Mr. Mind, and uh, I think actually you got Hoppy the Marble Bunny in this too. So it's actually a fun little story. But the thing about it is, even though it's a kind of a humorous story, uh, you got some great artwork in here. I mean, this is Buckler, Rich Buckler, and Dick Giordano on the covers and the interiors. So I think Buckler looks really good with Giordano on the inks. But some really nice art in this book. DC presents 34. And had a few holes in my Brave and Bold Jim Aparo run. And some of the later issues he actually didn't do. Uh, but I just had a few holes. I'm trying to get the whole run maybe from like 90 to 200. And so here's some of the later issues. Batman and Sergeant Rock. Always a great team up. Great Jim Aparo cover. It's number 162. Batman and Blackhawk, number 167, with a Nemesis backup. Another Jim Aparo cover. And another team up that I always enjoyed, even though it was kind of an oddball thing, was Batman and Swamp Thing. And I'm not sure who does the interior. This is a great Mike Kaluta cover. Kaluta would have been a great artist to do either Batman or Swamp Thing, in my opinion. So, and this, even though it's a reader, was one of the few I had missing in this title. DC Special Series, and that's, speak about DC and funky numbering. This was a title that had funky formats because you had regular comics, you had digests, you had the Marvel and DC crossover between the Hulk and the Batman. Uh, Back in, I guess, late 70s, early 80s was actually part of this numbering, that Treasury size, and then I think a Superman tabloid size was in it. Uh, this is one of the few that I didn't have yet, and it's a Sergeant Rock special. This is DC Special Series number 3. The great Joe Kubert cover. Pretty beat up. It's got a chunk out of the top, but just trying to. For some reason, this one's hard to find in any kind of grade, at least lately. But it's got a great cover. Some great Sergeant Rock and Easy Company stories on the inside. I already had this run, but this is one of those comics that when I see it for a decent price, you know, it's one of those I'm obsessed with this book type thing. But this was a cool little title back in the 70s, DC Superstars, and this is number 2, featuring DC Superstars of Space. Cool square bound book. Got Adam Strange, Atomic Knights, the Knights of the Galaxy. Great Murphy Anderson and Carmine Infantino reprints, and a great Ernie Chan cover. DC Horror, Witching Hour number 56. Luis Dominguez, or Luis, I should say. And these next two were just a buck, and I've already got them. But I just love the JLA, so I went ahead and picked them up. Basically reader copies. Here's Justice League of America 69. I think this was right before they changed his costume and before he got the goatee. I think this was probably one of the last stories in his old costume. And I think by this time Wonder Woman was in her Emma Peel persona. And a reader copy of JLA 79. Real nice Neil Adams cover. This is a book I've seen a lot in people's videos. I know ETA Nick's a big fan of this one, maybe Dr. Von Chilla. But I always thought this was a cool color. And really been getting into a lot of Bob Layton's stuff on Iron Man. But this is a John Romita Jr. and Bob Layton cover, Iron Man 150. A great Doctor Doom cover. An issue of some Bronze Age Detective that I originally had, and don't know what happened to it. Number 469. I think this is the first appearance of Dr. Phosphorus. Got a Jim Aparo cover. It actually has two stories on the inside. Has the lead story with Batman, and it has like a little short story in the back with the origin of Dr. Phosphorus. And the artwork is by Walt Simonson and Al Milgrom. Kind of an odd pairing, but works pretty good. Another run that I'm starting to put together a big chunk of is the Hulk. And even though I would love to have the first 6 of the first series, you know, all the Ditko issues, kind of out of my price range, I'll settle for the reprints. But the second series, you know, from 102 on up, I'm trying to complete 102 through 200, and got a pretty good chunk of it knocked out. I'll show you some of those. Hulk 103, the second issue of that second series. Great cover. Number 137. $38. It's got an old store stamp on it somewhere in Kansas, but sometimes I think those are kind of cool. Oops. Number 143 with the Doctor Doom cover. And I've said this before, but Herb Trimpe is my all-time favorite Hulk artist. And I think a lot of these issues I'm showing, you have actually Herb Trimpe and John Severin on the inks. Really, really nice artwork. This one's kind of beat up, but you know, I'm just trying to. I might probably will upgrade this one later. But I think this is the second picture frame cover of the Hulk, number 146, first 20-cent cover. $148, another great Trimpe and Severin cover, and a picture frame. So score 3 times here. $149. This one's kind of beat up. Somebody wrote on it. Looks like they tried to sell it in a garage sale or something for 15 cents. Number 149. More Trimpe. Another picture frame. Okay. Trying to collect a little Silver Age Spider-Man where I can. if I can find a good deal. Here we have number 60 with that cool Kingpin cover. These are actually in pretty good shape. Got a real deal on these. And number 61. Okay, last, certainly not least, book I've been wanting for quite a while. Put in a best offer on it. It's probably a solid good plus, maybe good, very good, but kind of a key issue. Avengers number 16. First new lineup. Very cool cover with a purple background. Jack Kirby at his best. Okay. That's all I got for that one, guys. Really enjoyed that and can't wait to dig into that stack and start reading. Got one more I'm probably going to post tonight, so be on the lookout for that one. And as always, have a great night. Onward and upward.